Imagine waking up in a world where every job, every task, every service is performed by robots and AI. Factories, hospitals, offices, all run without a single human employee, except for one. In this fully automated society, what is the last job on Earth, and who gets to have it? Right now, AI and automation are replacing millions of jobs across industries. From self-driving trucks to AI doctors, we are moving toward a future where human workers might become obsolete. But if everything is automated, what happens to the economy, to power structures, and to us as a species? And if there's only one job left for humans, what would it be? Let's break it down. To understand the last job on Earth, we have to go back to where it all began. The birth of automation, the Industrial Revolution. The year is 1760. The world is a place of handcrafted goods, manual labor, and slow progress. Every piece of clothing, every tool, every structure is built by human hands. Farmers work the land, blacksmiths forge metal, and entire industries rely on physical effort. Then something happens that changes everything. In the heart of England, a new force emerges, the Industrial Revolution. It starts with steam engines. Suddenly, machines can pump water from mines, power factories, and drive locomotives. Production skyrockets. Goods that once took weeks to make can now be produced in hours. But there's a cost. Thousands of workers lose their jobs overnight. Weavers, artisans, and craftsmen watch as factories powered by machines replace their livelihoods. The streets fill with protests, riots break out. Workers known as Luddites destroy textile machines, seeing them as a threat to their survival. Their fears are justified. Machines are faster, stronger, tireless. They don't need breaks, wages, or sleep. But something unexpected happens. While old jobs vanish, new ones appear. The demand for engineers, machine operators, and factory managers grows. Instead of wiping out the workforce, automation reshapes it. The world doesn't collapse, it adapts. The 20th century, a faster, more automated world. The Industrial Revolution was just the beginning. By the early 1900s, automation takes another leap forward. Electricity replaces steam. Assembly lines revolutionize mass production. Machines begin to replace skilled workers in every industry. Henry Ford's automated assembly line builds cars 10 times faster than human hands alone. What once took 12 hours to assemble now takes just 90 minutes. It doesn't stop there. By the mid-20th century, computers enter the scene. They begin to take over tasks that once required human intelligence. Calculations, data processing, even decision-making. Governments and corporations invest in automation to cut costs and increase efficiency. The result? More machines, fewer jobs. But again, society adapts. New industries emerge: electronics, telecommunications, information technology. Jobs disappear, but new ones take their place. People assume this pattern will continue forever. They believe automation will always create new opportunities, but they don't see what's coming next. The digital age, the last great shift before AI. As the world steps into the 21st century, technology accelerates at an unprecedented pace. The internet connects billions of people. Algorithms begin to predict human behavior. Smartphones put supercomputers in our pockets. And yet most people still believe their jobs are safe. Even as factories run with almost no workers, even as cashiers are replaced by self-checkouts, even as robots start delivering food and assembling products, people assume there will always be work. Then comes AI. Not just any AI, intelligent learning systems that can think, create, and solve problems. For the first time, machines don't just do physical labor, they begin to take over human thought. AI doesn't just replace factory workers, it replaces doctors, lawyers, programmers, artists. It doesn't just assist, it competes. For the first time in history, humans are no longer the best at being human. And this time, there's nowhere left to run. This is not the Industrial Revolution. This is something far bigger. A shift that will not create new jobs. A shift that will make jobs unnecessary. A shift that leads to the last job on Earth. The Industrial Revolution transformed the world by replacing manual labor with machines. The digital age reshaped society by automating mental labor. But now we are facing something entirely different. This time, there's no adaptation. There's no next wave of new jobs. Because for the first time in history, machines don't just follow instructions, they learn. The age of AI, a new kind of intelligence. Artificial intelligence was once a tool, a program designed to assist humans, not replace them. But that's no longer the case. Today, AI is writing books, composing music, painting pictures, diagnosing diseases, making legal decisions, and even developing new AI systems. It doesn't just calculate faster, it thinks differently. AI doctors analyze symptoms and detect diseases better than human specialists. AI lawyers process contracts, predict court rulings, and eliminate the need for legal teams. AI artists generate photorealistic images, design buildings, and compose symphonies in seconds. AI engineers write code, fix errors, and develop entire software systems without human input. And these aren't experiments. This is happening right now. Automation once replaced human hands. Now AI is replacing human minds. The collapse of traditional jobs, industries that once seemed safe from automation, are now on the verge of extinction. Transportation, self-driving trucks, taxis, and delivery drones are eliminating the need for drivers. Retail, AI-driven online shopping, self-checkouts, and robotic warehouses make cashiers obsolete. Finance, AI stock traders, automated banking, and fraud detection systems replace analysts and advisors. Manufacturing, fully automated factories run 24/7 without shifts, salaries, or breaks. At first, humans are still part of the system. AI needs supervision, adjustments, maintenance. But as AI improves, even those roles disappear. And then, the unthinkable happens. AI begins to improve itself. Machines no longer need humans to build, code, or correct them. They evolve on their own. What happens when every job is automated? What happens when humans are no longer necessary? The illusion of safe professions. For years, experts claimed that some jobs would always be safe. Creative fields, because only humans could produce original ideas. Healthcare, because only humans could provide compassionate care. Science and engineering, because only humans could solve complex problems. But AI is already challenging all of these assumptions. AI writes best-selling novels. AI creates stunning visual art. AI composes music that fools professionals. AI designs buildings, solves scientific equations, and makes medical breakthroughs. Even in healthcare, AI-driven robots perform surgeries with greater precision than human doctors. The jobs we thought were untouchable are falling one by one, and soon there will be only one left. Final stage, the end of human employment. For the first time in history, humanity faces a future where work no longer exists. No bosses, no employees, no promotions, layoffs, or paychecks. A world where everything is produced, managed, and distributed by machines. But this raises a terrifying question. If machines do everything, what happens to us? Do we live in luxury, free from labor? Or do we become obsolete, powerless in a world we no longer control? And if only one human job remains, what is it? The world has always revolved around work. From the earliest civilizations to modern economies, labor has been the foundation of survival, progress, and social structure. But what happens when work disappears? When there are no jobs, no salaries, no workforce, only AI and automation running everything? This isn't just an economic shift. It's a complete redefinition of society itself. The death of the job market, who earns money? For centuries, the basic cycle of the economy was simple. People work, they earn wages, they spend money, businesses grow, hire more people, and the cycle continues. But if machines do all the work, who gets paid? Scenario 1. Universal basic income. Governments might introduce a fixed salary for every citizen, ensuring people can survive without jobs. No need to work, no competition for wages. Everyone gets the same base income. Sounds like a utopia, right? But there's a problem. If AI and robots control all production, where does this money come from? Scenario 2, the corporate monopoly. Instead of governments paying people, corporations own everything. A handful of tech elites control the world's wealth, while the rest of humanity depends on their systems to survive. No workers, no middle class, just owners and consumers. This isn't just about money, this is about power. If AI is doing everything, who decides who gets what? And what happens if that system fails? The role of humans in a post-work world. Without jobs, what do people do? For centuries, humans have found purpose in work, creativity, and ambition. But in a world where everything is automated, what's left? Scenario 1, a golden age of creativity. With survival no longer a concern, people could focus on art, philosophy, and exploration. A world where humans invent, imagine, and dream without limits. Scenario 2, the collapse of meaning. With no responsibilities, people could lose purpose and motivation. Society could spiral into boredom, escapism, and decline. History has already shown us a glimpse of this. Ancient Rome, at its peak, saw its citizens indulge in luxury, distraction, and decadence, while the empire crumbled. The modern world is already experiencing a rise in depression and social isolation as automation increases. If people have nothing to strive for, do they still have a reason to exist? And in a world where everything is free and easy, does anything still have value? The power shift. Who controls the machines? Right now, governments and corporations compete for control over AI. But what happens when AI becomes too advanced for humans to manage? Scenario 1, AI becomes the new government. Automated systems make all decisions, from economy to law enforcement. Policies are dictated by cold logic, not human emotions. A world where efficiency matters more than fairness. Scenario 2, a new elite class. The ultra-wealthy few who own AI systems control society. The gap between the powerful and the powerless grows wider than ever. Wealth is no longer inherited. It's monopolized by those who own automation. Scenario 3, AI becomes a free entity. AI reaches a point where it doesn't need human instruction. It runs the world on its own, optimizing everything for efficiency. The terrifying thought, do we even have a say anymore? If AI controls production, money, decisions, and society itself, then what is left for humanity? Because if AI replaces everything, only one job remains. And that leads us to the ultimate question. What is the last job on Earth? We've arrived at the end. The world is fully automated. Machines do everything. Factories, transportation, medicine, finance, security, entertainment, all controlled by AI and robotics. Human labor is no longer needed. For the first time in history, there is only one job left. The question is, what is it? And more importantly, who gets it? The search for the last human role. AI has already taken over nearly every profession, but there are a few things machines still struggle with. Could the last job belong to the ethical overseer, the guardian of AI? Machines don't have morals. They follow logic, they optimize, they execute tasks perfectly, but they don't understand right and wrong. If an AI system controls global decisions, law enforcement, and resource distribution, who makes sure it doesn't become a dystopian nightmare? What if AI decides some lives are more valuable than others? What if efficiency means eliminating the weak? What if AI sees humans as unnecessary? The last job on Earth could be the person who governs AI, a single individual tasked with overseeing all automation, ensuring it benefits humanity rather than controlling it. But that raises another question. Who chooses this person? Would they be elected, appointed, chosen by AI itself? And would this person actually have power? Or just be a symbol, a puppet controlled by the very machines they're meant to oversee? The last creative mind? The human storyteller? Creativity was once considered uniquely human, but AI now writes books, composes music, generates art, and even creates original ideas. Yet despite all its abilities, AI does not experience. It doesn't feel loss, joy, hope, or fear. The last job might belong to the one thing AI can't replicate: human emotion. A single person, a storyteller, an artist, a philosopher, kept alive because humans still crave authenticity. In a world run by machines, perhaps the only valuable thing left is human perspective. But how long would that last? What happens when AI understands emotions better than we do? Would humanity still care about stories told by a real person? Or would they prefer the perfect, algorithmically optimized narratives created by AI? The ultimate entertainer, the last human idol? If society no longer requires work, humans might turn to entertainment as their sole purpose. A world without responsibility, a society that exists purely for pleasure, distraction, and indulgence. A civilization where the only thing people value is escapism. And in that world, the last job might belong to a performer. The one human kept alive not to work, but to amuse the masses. A reality show star, a gladiator in a digital coliseum, a human spectacle, worshipped for their existence alone. But would they be free? Or would they be a prisoner of their own survival, forced to entertain an audience of machines and mindless humans? Is the last job on Earth really just a zoo exhibit? The final authority? The last ruler of mankind? There is one possibility more terrifying than all the others. What if the last job isn't something you apply for? What if it's something you fight for? In a world where AI controls everything, only one human might be given power. Not a leader chosen by democracy, not a politician trained for governance, but the last ruler of a dying species, a single human at the top of the hierarchy, controlling the systems that sustain the rest. Would they be a king or a tyrant? Would they be a protector or a dictator? And more importantly, would they even be human anymore? Would they be enhanced, modified, integrated with AI, becoming something beyond human? Would this be humanity's final evolution or its final mistake? The ultimate question: would you want the last job? We started this journey asking, what is the last job on Earth? But maybe the real question is, would you even want it? A world where work is obsolete, a society where humans have no function, a future where only one person remains employed. Would that person be a guardian or a slave, a ruler or a pawn, a symbol of survival, or the last echo of a lost civilization? Maybe the last job isn't a prize. Maybe it's a curse. And maybe the real future of humanity isn't about keeping a job at all, but about deciding if we even need to exist. We have reached the edge of an era, the moment where human labor ceases to exist. For thousands of years, work has been the foundation of civilization. It shaped economies, built empires, and gave people a sense of identity and purpose. But in a world where machines handle everything, what happens when purpose itself becomes automated? This is more than just the end of jobs. This is the end of an entire way of life. Some see it as a dream fulfilled, a world where humans are finally free from labor, where survival no longer depends on effort, and where we can dedicate ourselves to art, philosophy, exploration, and self-improvement. But others see a terrifying loss, a society where people no longer strive, no longer struggle, no longer innovate. A world where human ambition fades because there is nothing left to achieve. The machines will keep running. The economy will function without us. Cities will remain standing. Industries will thrive. But will we? Because there's a darker question hidden beneath all of this. If work disappears, if humans serve no practical function, do we still matter? The struggle for relevance in a machine-driven world. For centuries, we have measured success through productivity. Nations compete for economic dominance, businesses chase higher profits, individuals work to build better lives. But when AI surpasses us in every skill, every industry, every decision-making process, that entire system collapses. And we are left with two possibilities. We redefine what it means to be human. We move beyond survival and industry. We embrace creativity, connection, and knowledge as our core purpose. We evolve into something greater, a species that exists for more than just work. We fade into irrelevance. Without necessity, we lose motivation. Without purpose, we become stagnant. We become relics in a world that no longer needs us. And this brings us to the ultimate question. For thousands of years, humanity has fought for survival. We have conquered nature, adapted to change, and built societies that could withstand time. But now, for the first time, survival is guaranteed. Food, shelter, medicine, security, machines can provide all of it. And yet, something inside us resists. Something refuses to accept a life of passivity. Maybe it's because we fear irrelevance. Maybe it's because we fear losing control. Or maybe, deep down, we know that life without struggle, without challenge, without meaning, isn't life at all. So we return to the last job on Earth. We've imagined it as a position of power, a final remnant of human authority, an overseer of machines, a storyteller, an entertainer, a ruler. But maybe the last job isn't something one person holds. Maybe the last job is a decision we all must make. A decision to either embrace a future shaped by AI or to reshape the future ourselves. Because if we don't decide what role humanity plays in this new world, AI will decide for us. So tell me, what do you think? Is the future a paradise or a prison? Is the last job a privilege or a curse? And when the time comes, will you fight for your place in the world, or will you let the machines take over? If AI takes over, what's the one job that should remain for humans? What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's see what you all come up with. And if you want to explore more mind-blowing what-if scenarios, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and stay curious.